By the Voice America Talk Radio Network, its staff and management. When you hear so many different ideas about good health, how do you separate the myths from the facts? Welcome to Healthy View Radio with your trio of co-hosts, Andrea Beaman, Lisa Lewtan, and Michelle Pfennighaus. Today, you'll learn what it takes to be healthy and happy within a stressful world from three experts walking their talk. Here is Lisa, Andrea, and Michelle.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Healthy View Radio. My name is Lisa Lewtan, and I'm here with my two fabulous co-hosts, Andrea Beaman and Michelle Pfennighaus. If any of you are in the Northeast today, it's crazy out there. We're getting hit by the bomb cyclone. I have to admit, I am not a big fan of this winter stuff. All this cold, the snow, everybody's like sick all around me. And so I have to be honest, I'm taking a lot of this D3. And I really like the Zoller D3. And Zoller is one of our sponsors of the show. And they are offering you an amazing coupon today to stock up on your own vitamin D3. Just visit Zoller D, www.zahlerd3.com, and use the coupon code HVRZD335. That's HVR, like Healthy View Radio, Z as in Zoller, D3, like this supplement, and 35 to get 35% discount. Please rush out now. You don't want to get sick. And another sponsor of our show today, very exciting, is Vapour Beauty. VapourBeauty.com, VAPOUR beauty.com. I have been using their new deodorant lately, and it rocks. All natural, goes on so smooth. Check it out. They're also offering you a coupon for 20% off at VapourBeauty.com. Just use the code HVR, like Healthy View Radio.
Hey, Lisa. And your armpits can smell as beautiful as Lisa's.
Yes.
And I'm wearing actually the little siren lipstick right now, just for those of you that are on Facebook watching us. Little siren lipstick.
I am too.
Oh, no, you are?
No, mine's Charisma.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I got a lipstick from them yet. I'm gonna have to go check one out, because if it's anything like this deodorant, I'm a fan. So you guys, what's the weather? What's happening in the New York area?
It's very snowy. It's blustery. It's blizzard-like. It's trauma. Well, actually, it's not really traumatizing if you have hot cocoa in the house.
It's a good day to figure out where all my windows are leaking so we can weather strip. That's how I'm thinking about it.
Yeah.
It's real easy.
Good day to kind of cuddle up and hibernate. And
oh my God, you're right. I'm in my pajamas, yo. These are my pajamas. I have pajama pants. I have my fluffy socks on. I'm in my pajamas.
You're also sick, girl.
That is the truth. I'm not going anywhere.
Yes. So I have a very exciting thing to announce for today. You lovely listeners may not realize this, but in addition to being your weekly charismatic radio show host, Andrea, Michelle, and I are all experts in health and wellness. Yep. We're coaches, teachers, speakers, writers, the whole shebang. So each week, you're not only getting cutting edge info from our guests, but you're getting it from us too. And so we decided to do something super duper special for you today to bring in the new year. In addition to announcing the winners of our holiday giveaway at the end of the show, that's right, you can't go anywhere because you might be a winner, so stay till the end to find out. But we're going to be interviewing our very own Andrea Beaman on using ancient healing medicine for our own modern healthcare crisis. Later in the show, Liza Baker will be joining us to talk about how to move from our overscheduled lives to being healthier and happier ones. Before I want to introduce Andrea, though, I want to ask Michelle a question. I decided that my own ancient healing medicine is basically to hibernate as much as possible and to eat lots of squash. And I'm curious, what is your ancient healing medicine to get through the winter?
I do both of those things. I've been making a lot of those squash in my Instant Pot the past few nights because my oven blew, crapped the bed.
No.
Yeah. The whole heating element exploded and like it went zzz, big fire in there. And so I got to get that fixed. But yeah, you can make a whole squash in the Instant Pot in like 12 minutes.
Instant Pot like a slow cooker?
It is an electric pressure cooker.
Wow.
So you pop that puppy in there, boom, 12 minutes, done. You slice it right open. You don't have to use a hacksaw to open your spaghetti squash or anything.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So we've been doing a lot of Instant Potting lately. But let's see. My ancient healing medicine is I turned to learning about herbs, and I'm not a master. I'm not like Andrea level herbalist. However, because once I got pregnant and then once I had kids, it's like, oh, you mean when you get really sick, you can't just load them up with Dayquil? I mean, not that I wanted to do that, but you got to do something when your kids are sick, and you can't do that. So then I had to learn about all this stuff. So I have like shelves now of like the echinacea and the astragalus and the elderberry, and I've learned how to make a lot of my own things. And we do a lot of, I told my son, I'm like, what can I put this in so you will drink it? You know, the tinctures, because they kind of taste bad. They taste like alcohol. And he just goes, just put it in water.
Wow.
And that boy has my heart. He drinks it down with water every morning. His little reishi, his little whatever I give him.
Oh, that's great.
That's what we do around here.
That is so cool. Well, Andrea is going to be telling a lot about this stuff, but I really want to officially tell you about her because I know a lot of you follow her, but you might not know all the amazing things she has done and does. So
I am modest. I'm amazing and modest. You forgot to say modest.
Well, I'm blown away just reading this. So Andrea Beaman is a natural food chef, health educator, thyroid expert, holistic health coach, and herbalist dedicated to alternative healing and sustainable eating and living. She was a featured contestant on Bravo's Top Chef. She's a regularly featured expert on CBS News and hosted the award-nominated Fed Up, a cooking show that educates viewers how to cook for and cure body ailments. Andrea is recognized as one of the top 100 most influential people in health and fitness, received the award for excellence in health supportive food education from the National Gourmet Institute for Food and Health, as well as the Health Leadership Award from the Institute of Integrative Nutrition, our alma mater. Andrea is also the author of a number of books that make learning about better health, good food, and sustainable living a fun experience for everyone. Did I tell you she's so impressive?
Oh my God, this girl is awesome. Where'd you get her from?
Amazing. Well, Andrea, this sounds funny saying, but welcome to the show.
Oh, thanks for having me, ladies. Just in time, ancient medicine for my flu. I have a lovely, lovely flu, which I'm excited about. Excited to talk about.
I can't wait to hear how you're going to heal it with your ancient medicine.
Oh, I'm already on the road to recovery. So like a flu normally lasts between 8 and 14 days, right? So a flu, of course, we all know is a virus that attacks the nervous system. That's why you get pain in the legs and pain in your back and pain behind your eyes, right? Because it's attacking the nervous system as well as all the other stuff that comes with it. So in ancient medicine, right, to heal this condition, which we call the flu today, you would actually heat the body up, right? Because what do we know in modern medicine? What's the only thing that kills the flu virus? You guys know? A fever. A fever.
I was thinking about something from the drugstore. They have that Tamiflu they give.
Yeah.
It does. Well, you know, it'll stop, but it's not going to. That Tamiflu also will stop you from breathing. It'll dry up the mucous membranes, which you do not want because that'll make your flu last longer. So what you want to do is actually bring the body heat up. So something like a sauna, sitting in a hot bath, hot just
yoga.
What?
Hot yoga.
Oh my God, totally. Yeah. You want to bring your heat up because you want your body to actually start to kill the virus. And then all of the mucus that comes out, you don't want to dry that up. So, like people will rush out to the store and they're like, okay, I got to stop these symptoms from happening. But you stop those symptoms from happening and you're going to keep your flu for 3 weeks or a month, right? So I got Pablo, my husband was traveling back and forth to Florida and doing this training program and not getting any sleep. And he brought home a cold and then he gave that to me, which was really nice of him. And that one healed. And then he brought home the flu and then I got it. So, I started feeling the flu on probably New Year's Eve evening, right? So what was that, 4 days ago, right? started feeling it. I started getting the aches. I started getting the pains. At night, I couldn't sleep. Oh my God, the pain traveling down my legs was intense. I felt like I was going to throw up all over the place. And I started to get it. And I was like, okay, that's the flu. He just had the flu. He gave it to me. I thought that I was immune. You're never really immune to that stuff. And, as he's like projectile mucus right into my eyeballs with his coughing. And oh yeah, because that's the way little kids and husbands are. They don't cover their mouth. They just right. So I'm helping him, and I get the flu, and immediately, like the next morning, that night, I just got under the covers and I just tried to heat my body up as much as possible. And then the next day, I started taking licorice root. Right, because licorice root, Michelle was talking about using herbs, which is ancient medicine for healing. Licorice root is one of the oldest herbs. It's not to be confused with Twizzlers, which is something completely different.
You just melt them down, right?
That's right. You melt down your Twizzlers. Yeah. And then, licorice root is an antiviral, meaning it'll stop the replication of the virus. So it stops, going crazy all over your whole system. So I started taking the licorice root. I just laid in bed. I tried just drinking teas. Right. I don't want to overwhelm my system with too much food. And I'm on the 4th day, and I feel like this is going to be one of the last days. Right. So a flu, which would normally last 8 to 14 days, I have a feeling this one's going to be gone within about, I want to say 48 hours.
That's amazing.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Whenever people talk about herbs, it's like, that sounds great. But so what is the licorice root? Are you doing like a tincture? Are you doing some sort of pill, or it's the raw, like dried root that you're just eating straight? What are you doing?
Yeah, I'm eating raw licorice root straight. Imagine? Oh my God. No, I'm doing a couple of things. I'm taking tincture, but I'm also putting it into a tea. So remember that the flu virus is viral. Right? It's a virus. So I made a licorice root tea with lemon balm, which is also antiviral. So the licorice root is hepatic, right? It helps to support the liver, because your liver has to process all of this stuff. So it's coming in a little, a tincture, alcohol, vial. That's the quickest way to deliver the licorice root is through alcohol, because it's really going to open up your system. Yeah, go ahead, Lisa.
So here's my question, though. For those of us who are not experienced in making tinctures and lotions and potions and powders and all this kind of cool stuff, can we just go to the store and buy licorice root tea, and would that help?
Yeah, you can. I mean, like the licorice root teas that are in the packages, they're not as strong. So you want it, like if you're going to get one of those licorice root teas that are already prepackaged, you want to actually make it extra strong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you would simmer for like maybe 30 minutes when you do a tea like this. Is that right?
Yeah, you could. That's a decoction. So like an infusion. Yeah, sugar. So an infusion is like a simple tea where you pour the hot water on and you let it steep for 7 to 10 minutes. That's an infusion. And you could do that with licorice root, but because it's a root and dried, you generally want to either decoct it or let it sit for a longer period of time. So for example, when I did my lemon balm, red clover, and licorice root tea, I think I also put in some other stuff. I'll have to think what else I put in there. I let it sit for about 35 or 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm. So right? You bring to a boil, right?
Yep.
Or simmer, and then let it sit for a pretty long time.
Yep.
Okay. So we could do that, or we could go, order off of Vitacost or something, one of those little tincture bottles, or go to Whole Foods and do like 10 drops, 20 drops, the whole bottle, like a little nip.
Yeah. Well, it depends, like kids don't need as much as adults. So, like I would say a dropper full. So a dropper full is never the full dropper. A dropper full is when you squeeze the top of the dropper, and that, it'll usually fill up about halfway. That's a dropper full. So I would say a dropper full 3 times a day. But if you're in the beginning stages and you want to really bring that viral replication, the viral load down, you could probably do it 5 times a day. Yeah.
And would you use licorice root at other times when you're not feeling sick?
Oh yeah, totally.
So how would you use it in everyday life?
Well, in everyday life, let's say you have low blood pressure or you're always feeling cold. Licorice root can actually bring your blood pressure up. It can help you feel a little bit warmer. Also, there were other, besides licorice root, like I was also using star anise, which is, that they make Tamiflu from one of the constituents that are in star anise.
Wow.
Yeah. So instead, I just took apple cider and I decocted it with star anise, cloves, because I forgot the name of the actual constituent, but it inhibits the viral replication, and it's in cloves, and it's in star anise, and it's in licorice root. It's in all of those. So, there's a lot of stuff to do. What I didn't do was suppress my symptoms.
I think that's such an important point, and I just reiterate that to all our listeners, because we have grown up in a world where I feel sick. What can I take instantly to make it go away? And what we're saying is it's the exact opposite. Let it flow, let it do its thing, and your body will heal itself, right?
That's correct. Let it flow. Let your body do its thing. And what we've been taught in the modern world, which I think is really killing us and setting us up for bigger diseases down the road, is when the body does not flow, it creates this internal stagnation. And that's where you're going to have the detoxification organs that get congested. You're going to have trouble with, look at our cancer rates.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So, we have to let ourselves flow, and we haven't been.
No, this is so helpful. I know, I'm imagining how helpful it is to our listeners, because it's so helpful to me as well. I always know, okay, I should not be doing this, but I don't know what I should be doing in terms of like the licorice root and all that type of stuff. So I'm sure people are going to be super curious as to what other things they can be doing to help.
Oh my God. Yeah. Especially at this time of year. And one of the things that we're not allowed to do, which we need to do, is rest.
Right. Rest. So we're going to be going to break shortly, and I never even got to ask you what you had for breakfast today.
Oh, well, I didn't have anything because I'm a little bit of, I'm having tea. And then after my tea, I had a little bit of stock with some chopped rosemary, garlic, and salt and pepper. And the rosemary was to help clear my sinuses.
So cool. Well, after the break, we're going to continue talking to Andrea about ancient healing wisdom. So stay tuned. Don't forget, at the end of the show, we're going to be announcing our holiday giveaway winners. And then later on, we'll also be talking to Liza and about her wonderful new book, Liza Baker. So stay tuned, and we will be back shortly after the break.
All clear.
Woohoo!
Nice. Andrea, are we going to do the face reading?
Oh, yeah, we could totally do face reading.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'll use my face as an example today. And then I'll use some you guys as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. So like, we'll talk about it, but you see like these red on my chin?
Yeah.
You see this red? This area is connected to the reproductive system, right? And I have a fibroid and a little cyst on one of my ovaries. So this is showing the stagnation that is in my reproductive system.
That's
always
crazy.
Or just right now because you're sick and it's like inflamed?
Oh, no. I've had this probably for 5 years. Yeah, like if I'll go back and look at my all my pictures and I see the little red. And then when the fibroid gets larger, this actually gets more red. Right? Because it grows throughout the month. It'll grow and it'll shrink. It'll grow and it'll shrink.
30 seconds.
I'm going to... Hello, Facebook.
Oh, that's cool, Andrea. Not cool about the fibroid, but
oh no,
cool.
It'll go away. It's I'm going through my cycle of my 7th year cycle on the planet, right? So I'm going through 49 to 56, and my hormones are starting to change. So the hormones will fluctuate, and as the hormones fluctuate, that's when we have a higher risk of fibroids and all that other stuff. But then, guess what happens after menopause?
We'll find out.
Fibroids go away.
All right, here we go.
You're listening to Andrea Beaman, Lisa Lewtan, and Michelle Pfennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Hey, welcome back to Healthy View Radio. I'm Michelle Pfennighaus, and I'm here today with my co-hosts, Andrea Beaman and Lisa Lewtan. And today, actually, Andrea is playing not only co-host, but she is stepping up and giving us a dose of ancient healing medicine to solve our modern healthcare crisis. And Andrea, we talked a little bit about herbs in the previous segment. We didn't talk about mushrooms at all. Would reishi count as one of those ancient healing medicines?
Oh my gosh, reishi, thousands of years old. They were using reishi in China long before we made it a hot thing, right? Yeah, like, you know, it's like the hot new thing, but it's really, it helps to boost the immune system. It's amazing, reishi mushroom.
Good to know. That is one of the things I give my kids and I take myself every morning during this time of year to help boost the immune system. And so far, we haven't been at the ER in the middle of the night with an ear infection. So I'm psyched about it.
Nice.
But in addition to the tincture, I've actually been drinking it in my decaf coffee from Matic. And it's real coffee. They have a caffeinated version too, but I'm like a decaf girl. And they add the benefits of mushrooms into the mix. So it's not just a cup full of mushrooms, it's actual coffee. And I finally got Max, my husband, to try some of this coffee. He was not into the idea. He thought it was going to be gross. And then he took a sip and he was like, I love it. So
it's so funny.
You know,
I could sneak it into my husband's iced coffee. You think
he would never know. No,
he would never know.
For real. So if any of you guys want to get on the reishi bandwagon and you're not into making the decoctions, is that what it is, Andrea?
Yeah, decoction.
Decoctions and infusions and the powders and the potions, you can just drink coffee. And all of our listeners can give it a try and save 15% at forsigmatic.com/HVR. We'll put that link in the show notes. So before the break, like I said, we were talking about herbs. We were talking about Andrea healing herself from the flu and fibroids and all this good stuff. So lead the way, Andrea. What else do we need to know about kind of taking care of the healthcare crisis that we find ourselves in this country?
Okay. So this is so important. Like, I'm going to talk about assessment of conditions before they manifest. So let's talk about, like, one of the first things that I learned when I was learning about natural healing was the art of visual diagnosis. And I was fascinated by this because when I was first diagnosed, I had this huge goiter and I went to go see Michio Kushi, and he pokes me here and he looks at my eyes, he looks at my face, he looks at my skin, and he goes, frozen dairy. And I'm like, are you kidding me? How the hell? He didn't even ask me one question. He just poked me here and he said frozen dairy. And at the time, I was eating Ben & Jerry's frozen yogurt every single day for like 2 years. I'm not even kidding. Not even kidding. The low-fat frozen yogurt, right? So,
myself.
Yeah, so like, I know today what he was looking at, but one of the things that really I found interesting was that he said to me, he goes, listen, you can heal in, 4 months or something like that. He goes, within 5 years, you're going to have full-blown breast cancer in both your breasts. And I'm like, what is he looking at? What is this guy looking at? How can he see that on my skin and my eyes? And it's because the physical body, the human body, gives us signs and signals that it's out of balance before it gets out of balance, before the cancer comes, before the disease comes. You'll get these signs, like for example, and you guys both have kids. Right before the kids get sick, right before, like a day before or hours before, their cheeks will get flush.
Their hands are cold.
Yeah, hands are cold. Cheeks will get flush. It'll get like this little red because this is connected to your lungs, right? So it shows that there is some inflammation happening here. Some pathogen or antigen came into the body and inflammation is starting, right? So the physical body, it shows us what we need. So like, for example, anytime that somebody gets sick, you'll notice that their lips will get dry. So like mine aren't dry right now because I know that I need to drink lots of fluids when I'm sick because the body will heat up with fever and it'll dry out the fluids, right? And then if your fluids get dry, your immune cells can't get to where they need to go, right? So one of the first signs that you can see, at least his face, that you could see that the body is dry is when the lips get chapped, because this is the entranceway into the digestive system. And this will show you what's happening inside the system. So if the digestive system is dry, your lymphatic system, majority of your lymphatic system is also living in the digestive system. That's going to be dry. How are your immune cells getting to where they need to go? So as soon as you see the dry lips coming, you either have to increase your water, or you have to make sure that you're getting enough water or liquid or teas or soups or something like that to make sure that your water element is nourished. So another thing to look at is the eyes, right? So the eyes, yeah, hey, Lisa, the eyes are this is showing the nervous system, right? So when somebody's eyes are flitting about, right? They're flitting about all over the place. It's showing a nervous system that is agitated, right? Or a nervous system that's on edge. Also, the whites of the eyes. This is showing your entire circulatory system, right? So somebody goes out drinking, of course, the night before, and they come the next day and their eyes are beet red. Why did their eyes get red? What happened to their circulatory system? What happened? Red also signifies heat. Whenever there's red, there's heat or there's inflammation somewhere. Go ahead, Lisa.
So when people have allergies and they get red eyes, what is that actually signaling? Like, hay fever or whatever. Like, how is that showing up? Is that the circulatory system suffering from the hay fever?
That is inflammation in the liver. Because have you guys ever seen an acupuncture chart?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we have all of these energy pathways running around the body. And modern medicine says there's no such thing as a meridian, but ancient medicine says, oh, yes, there is. The whole body is this energy pathway. So the liver meridian runs from the toes, through the knees, through the reproductive organs, through the breasts, up through the second channel, comes up through here and goes right here and then right up through the eyes to the top of the head. So when your eyes get red, when you have allergies, it's showing that there's heat and inflammation in the liver. Right? So when people come to me and they have allergies, I actually focus on supporting their liver rather than stopping the allergies. Yeah.
I remember
That's
my brother in high school, I used to have red eyes all the time. The teachers would call home going, Mrs. Fink, I think your son's been smoking a little too much weed. And then she's like, no, because his eyes were red all the time. And
it's funny.
Allergies. So.
Right. So instead of doing the eye drops, whatever, the Visine or whatever, you're saying, Andrea, look to the liver. So what kind of lead time do you need on that? If you're suffering today with allergies, you can't do something to your liver today and get relief.
Well, you can. Again, you could use some of those anti-inflammatory herbs, right? So licorice root is one that helps to tamper down that histamine response. You could also use red clover, but this is long-term. Right? So somebody suffering with allergies, first of all, you have to look at that and say, why is this person allergic to their environment? Human beings should not be allergic to their environment unless they're living in mold, right? They have mold spores. Otherwise, we're not supposed to be allergic to pollen. Pollen is a natural thing that's happening in the world. The trees, right, are releasing pollen. Flowers are releasing pollen. So we're not supposed to be having these really horrible allergic reactions to that. It should come in and the body should release it, right? Or maybe a sneeze here and there, but nothing like the way people are suffering. Oh my gosh, with allergies, but they can't even go outside. How is that even possible? They can't even go outside their house. I've had clients tell me that their allergist tells them to close all the windows, don't go outside, keep the air conditioner on. How can you live?
Yeah, I'm like that actually. And it got worse when I moved to the city. And I was not around any trees or anything for years when I lived in Boston. And I would go on Easter, I'd go visit my family who lived in the middle of the woods. And I would hide in the middle of the house, in a bathroom, close everything as far away from outside as I could get because I would wheeze and I couldn't breathe and I would sneeze. And when I cut out sugar and processed food and actually was off dairy for a long time, that was the first spring I didn't have allergy symptoms.
Right. And you still have access to trees and flowers and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
The same pollen, that hasn't changed, but your internal environment has changed.
Yeah, I have a similar experience. I have tested for every external allergy out there, every pollen, everything, and I experienced no symptoms. And I think it's because of how I eat, cleaning up my diet over the years, whereas I used to suffer much more when I was younger.
Oh, so you used to have like the allergy medication and all that when you were younger?
It wasn't strong, but I definitely had, I was allergic to my house growing up and I didn't know it till I went.
Oh my God.
I think a lot of people are in one way or another.
It was a really old house and there must have been molds in there that we didn't know of. But when I went to college, I go, wow, I'm not sneezing all the time. And then I'd go home and I'd start sneezing. Like I'd feel like I had the flu. And so it was an awareness that it was my environment. And I did have not terrible, but definitely environmental allergies, but knock on wood, not too many anymore.
So we don't run out of time. Maybe we should do some of this facial diagnosis Andrea's talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's
And this is going to work best, by the way, for people who are watching us on Facebook, right? Some people will just be listening. They can't see our faces, but Andrea will describe it all.
Okay. So Lisa, stick out your tongue and put it near the the little video. And let me make this bigger so I can see your little cute little tongue. Okay. So you see how sharp and pointy your tongue is?
Well, that's kind of why I was pointing it.
Okay. So put it out regular. Oh, and look, you have a little dip. You see that little dip in the front?
That one?
No, right on the tip.
Uh-huh.
Right. There was a little, and oh, yes, that's correct, Michelle. Okay. There's a little dip in the front. Actually, that's a lung area. Yeah. So stick out your tongue again. It's also a little pale. So with a pale tongue like that, you have to be careful of anemia.
I'm very low on iron.
Oh, you're very low on iron. Yeah. So your bot. Yeah. So the tongue should be a little more red. It should be a little more blood-like. So yours is showing this pale. So there's almost there's anemia. And you said you're low on iron. So you need to make sure that you're absorbing your irons. And let me see one more time. Yeah. So that little dip there is interesting because that's the lungs. So you said that you had these allergies. Do you still have any lung stuff at all going on?
Nothing.
Okay, good. It may be something for you to be aware of, that you need to have lung strengthening herbs in your diet just to make sure that is. So like astragalus, reishi is another good one. How much time do we have, Michelle?
I don't know.
Because I want to see your tongue too.
Oh, no. My tongue's not good.
Let me see your tongue. That's not so bad. Let me see.
I tend to get a lot of I have a tongue scraper. I use a lot.
So there's a little yellow in the center, which this is a
coffee also.
Oh, coffee, yeah. Coffee, mushroom coffee, reishi coffee. So the little yellow in the center shows that you may not be processing fats as well as you could be. Let me see one more time. And it's also a little bit pale and it's scalloped on the edges. And let me just blow some of this flu out.
I know what you mean about the edges. I've been noticing that. It's almost like maybe it's pressing into my teeth too hard.
Yeah, that's correct. So the tongue is this muscle, right? It's showing the muscles in the body, but also the tongue and the mouth is the digestive system. So when the tongue expands and sits in the grooves of the teeth, it's showing a weakness in the digestive system, meaning a weak spleen. So it's starting to become flaccid instead of more toned. So you want to be careful with that, because when that gets too flaccid, it's going to show that your ability to digest will get worse and worse and worse, like digest more deeply. And that will eventually affect the kidneys. If you can't digest, it affects the kidneys, which is, your ability to digest is your ability to extract the nutrients that you need to give the kidneys the life support that they need so that you have energy. Right? So when that expands, it's showing that weakness in the digestive system is happening. That will affect your kidneys. You may have some exhaustion coming or something like that.
So it'd be like a digestive enzyme, some bitters, things like that.
Bitters. Yeah, I would say bitters for sure, because that's going to tone. Anything astringent also would help to tone. So like green tea, believe it or not, is a great astringing It has that ability to tone and astringe. Also, you may want to look at like deeper herbs. So like probably something like bayberry or barberry, like one of the berberines. I don't know if you have any overgrowth of anything happening in there that's causing that weakness down there. But that's one place to look. But also with visual diagnosis, you can't just look at the one place, meaning we can't just look at the tongue and say, okay, this is the end of the end all. We have to look at the whole system and say, okay, how is this person's energy levels? How are they feeling? Are they prone to fainting? What's going, like, is there an internal weakness that's happening? What's going on? And you have to approach it from many different levels. So it's not just one blood test and then there you go. It's looking at the whole system and how is this human being? How do they look? How's their energy level?
You said something earlier, Andrea, about, paraphrasing, but like catching a disease before it manifests.
Yes.
Right. So one way to do that obviously is like what you're doing right now. But even like with labs, I find, when like my clients have labs run and it'll say that their values are in normal range, but like, do you know what I'm talking about? Sometimes their values are such that we really should be looking at that. We really should be trying to stave off what's coming versus waiting for it to completely manifest.
Yes, that's the beauty of ancient healing medicine. It works on the preventative level, meaning you want to actually prevent the disease or make your body stronger so that it has a fighting chance when the disease fully manifests, that you go, okay, I totally got this, right? Like a flu comes. Okay, I got this. My body's going to heal it, right? Go ahead, Lisa.
And so when we're looking at ourselves in the mirror in the morning, we can be looking for those red patches you mentioned. What are other things we should be looking for? Just to know, like our tongue.
Yes.
Scalloped, white, those types of things. What are some other things that should make us aware that there might be trouble happening?
Any discoloration that pops up on the skin is showing that something is also happening internally, right? So what has a back has a front. Inside has an outside. So if something happens internally, we're going to see it externally. In my 20 years in practice, there's only like maybe one or two people that I've seen that their internal body didn't manifest externally.
Wow.
I've been taking notes on all of this, Andrea, and I know our listeners probably have been too. You have a gift for everybody. You're going to give everyone a guide to this visual diagnosis?
Oh, yeah, totally. They get to see the digestive system. They get to see visual diagnosis. They get a little chart. They get some fun stuff, and they just practice. When they look in the mirror, like Lisa said, what do we do when we look in the mirror? When you first look in the mirror, you say, I'm perfect exactly as I am. And then you say, how do I tweak this?
We'll put a link to get that free download from Andrea in the show notes. So if you're listening to this, you're not on Facebook, go to healthyviewradio.com/14. That'll be live tomorrow, and we'll have a link there for you. And after the break, we are going to be back with Liza Baker, author of Flip Your Kitchen. That'll be a good way for everybody to jumpstart their 2018 by flipping their kitchen. I also want to say thank you to our sponsor, Giovanni Cosmetics. For some natural hair care, head on over to giovannicosmetics.com/HVR and download a $2 coupon. All right, we'll be back lickety-split.
All clear.
Thanks, A-Rod.
So fun, Andrea.
So fun. I love this stuff. It's fascinating.
Oh my God, I love it too. I love it too. And when I first met my husband, he used to have these horrible pains in both of his hips.
Can you imagine going on a date with Andrea and she's like, you're like, I know she's looking at my tongue.
She's looking at everything. Yeah, so he used to have these terrible pains in his hips, and he was only like 36 years old. And I'm like, okay, your gallbladder is out of balance. And he would also bang his head all over the place. And the gallbladder meridian runs on the side of the head, as well as the side of the body. And I said to him, I said, listen, your gallbladder is out of balance. You have to fix this. And he goes, oh my God. He goes, how do you know that? I said, well, your hips are achy. You're 36 years old, and you're constantly banging your head. Because the human body, like, we're really, really wise. And an old practitioner told me that we will hit the part of the body that needs attention from us. And he said to me, he goes, it's really interesting that you say that, because both my father and my brother had their gallbladders removed.
Healing your honey.
I'm always like burning my arm in the oven. You think that means anything?
Yes, it does. Where? What part of your arm?
So we don't have your guest at all yet.
Wow. Where's our
Lisa's
guest?
not here?
No, she hasn't called. Do you have a number I can reach her at by chance or no?
Yes. Here
It should be in the show notes.
Yeah, we got it.
I'm going to blow again. There she blows.
Okay,
I always burn my arm like right about here. Like if I reach it into the oven and I always on the...
Oh, on the top side.
Yeah, it could be on the top. It could be back here.
Okay, so this is small intestine. Yes. So
I thought I was just clumsy, especially when I was pregnant. I burned myself all the time because your brain's like, wah.
Yeah, and when you burn, like when
you
you're
see
pregnant,
I have a scar.
Yeah, that's
right
small
there.
intestine right there. So when you're pregnant, you're even more intuitive about what needs to be stimulated. What like your intuition is really activated when you're pregnant.
Yeah.
So yes.
As is your clumsiness as well.
Yeah. Because you're carrying a baby, right? So the body may be in a state of stagnation. So if you're constantly banging yourself, you're actually stimulating those organ systems and stimulating those meridians. What do you think acupuncture is? You're actually stimulating, right? So when we hit ourselves somewhere, you're stimulating that organ system.
I've been tapping a lot lately.
Very smart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start. So I should start tapping my arms.
Oh my God. Yeah. Do Do'in. Like when you wake up in the morning, tap your whole body.
That's crazy. Yeah, my husband was like, "What is the matter with you?" Like, it's not like I never cook, you know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty familiar with the kitchen, but for some reason, I went through this streak where I was burning myself constantly.
Ooh, ouch.
Oh, wait, maybe this girl lost her power.
Oh, I think Lisa's in Michigan.
Yeah, so I've tried twice now, and it sends me to a weird voicemail saying your call cannot be completed as dialed. Please hang up and try your call again.
Was Michigan getting hit with?
Let me see if there's any
snow.
I don't have an email from her. Lisa, where are you, baby?
Did you just want to jump on, or I can try it again?
Yeah.
Well, what do we do?
I mean, we can keep
To do
going.
the stories.
Yeah, you can look at our eyeballs next.
Eyeballs next.
Oh, that's disappointing. I was excited to hear about her.
Yeah, and I loved her book. Flip
Here,
Your
I'll
Kitchen.
try to get a hold of her, but yeah, we'll bring you guys in
Okay.
because we're already way over on commercials.
Okie doke.
All right, here we go. Giving you the sound.
You're listening to Andrea Beaman, Lisa Lewtan, and Michelle Pfennighaus with Healthy View Radio. Do you have a question or comment for the show? Please call us right now at 1-866-472-5792. That's 1-866-472-5792. Or send us an email from our Voice America radio page. You'll find connections to reach any of the hosts there. Now, back to Healthy View Radio.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Healthy Flu Radio. We've been talking about using ancient medicine for our modern healthcare crisis, and I'm in crisis right now. So this show is very timely. Just when you think we couldn't get any more perfect, kablam! We not only like to talk to you about getting healthy, we actually go through the process ourselves to inspire you.
That's why you got the flu for us. That's so nice.
Yes, just for this show. I did it on purpose. You guys can thank my husband for all of his boogers that he threw at me over the past week. His little droplets of flu everywhere. Now, I'd like to thank our sponsor, Zoller, Advanced Nutritional Supplements. And we're unsure, actually, if we have a guest today. So what we're going to wait and see if she hops on. We're going to continue our talk about healing the body using ancient wisdom. And then if she hops on, we'll cut to her because she's got a great book and hopefully we can get her on again. Something I'm hoping that she's okay. So ladies, do you have any thoughts about using ancient wisdom? Yeah, go ahead.
I've been taking notes. And when earlier you were talking about fever, and I couldn't agree more. Like as soon as my kids have a fever, you know, my husband, anyone will say, well, give them something to bring down the fever. And I'm like, no. And I actually, you know, I try to balance that with everybody getting sleep. So I do give them something at nighttime. But during the day, I let them fever, I put them under a blanket. But when is a fever too high? Because that is a concern as well, right?
Yeah, you don't want the fever to go too high, but you certainly do want a fever because the fever is the only thing that's going to kill the virus. So you have to keep that in mind. And, like if they are when a fever becomes dangerous is when the pores don't open to release the heat. So that is, like when somebody gets a fever and then they start, it's interesting who we have coming in. They get a fever and then they start to sweat, right? They sweat. So that sweat is very healthy because that means that the integumentary system has opened, the pores have opened and your body is releasing that excess heat, almost like a steam pipe. And, I don't know who that is, so we'll just keep going.
Someone's calling on behalf of Liza.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well,
this will be interesting.
All right, so we'll let them in, and I'll finish talking about your question. But so you want to make sure that they get hot, but that they also release the heat, and it's not being held in because that's when it becomes dangerous. So there's a great herb to open and release that heat, and that's elderflower. And you give your kids elderberry and elderflower.
Elderberry, but I don't know about elderflower.
It's the same plant. It's just that the berry, that the flower becomes the berry. Mm-hmm. Right. So you're getting both parts. You're getting the flower before it's turned to the berry and then the berry. So you get the two actions of the plant. So do we want to bring in the person who's going to speak on behalf of our guest?
Yeah, bring her on.
Okay, A-Rod, bring her on.
She is here. Beverly, go ahead. You're live.
Hi, Beverly.
Hi, Beverly. Can you hear me? I'm getting a ring back.
Oh,
no, you can. I hear you.
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, so I'm listening to the cast. Sorry that Andrea is unwell.
Oh,
Just
thanks.
want to tell you that I'm happy. Are you there?
Yes, we're here. Can you hear us?
Who's on the line? Oh, hello. Hello, Andrea.
Oh, yeah. Can you turn off?
A little bit of a ring back too.
Yeah, if you have your computer on in the background, or if you're watching us on Facebook Live, just turn it off. You can watch the replay.
Turn it off?
Yeah, turn off your Facebook, whatever you're watching in the background.
Okay, here, I'm off. Log out. Bye.
Awesome.
Hey,
that's better.
Yeah.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Welcome to our show.
Well, somebody has a little bit of a flu.
Yeah, just a little bit,
and static on my end.
So wait, is this Beverly or is this Liza?
I was out and about, and I live in the Bronx and Riverdale in New York, and I got blown a little bit about today. And I was supposed to be going swimming at my local place, and it didn't happen. I got to see some of my friends today when I was out shoveling, and then I came home and I get to see you this afternoon. So thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic, Beverly. And so how do you know Liza Baker?
I do not know Liza Baker.
Oh, so that's the confusion. Well, we're glad that you made it.
Baker. No, not at all.
Well, I'll get to know Liza another time. But Beverly, you must have a question for us, and that's why you called in.
You guys are trying to work from your homes, and I know some friends who are working from their homes today. And the good news is when you work from your home and you actually have a cold, that's a good thing.
That is true.
Work from your home, and it's a blustery snow day, then you want to go out and play in the snow.
That's correct. So Beverly, do you have a question for us today?
I have a question for you is to say stay healthy and happy. And I do my best to try to make the time to listen to you when you do this show each week. And so the question today is, how do you keep your humor up? Because we're funny.
Oh, well, that's a really great question. Well, I guess it can't, and I'm only speaking for myself, but there's a couple of ways to.
Hold on, I have static on my end because I'm getting in the backup feed. But what keeps us funny? What keeps us funny?
Andrea keeps us funny.
Even with a flu, when I blow my nose, people laugh. It's just a thing. I don't know what keeps us funny, but I do know that it's good to have a sense of humor. And we had a show a few weeks ago about laughter is good medicine, And
yes,
please
I know.
go.
I saw it.
Yeah, watch that one again. I mean, that's just to be in the world lighter will take a load off your whole world. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thanks for calling in. We're glad that you made it through
And
the snowstorm.
I hope we find that Lisa, that she's not lost somewhere in Michigan.
I
We
know.
found her.
And blustery.
He's waiting right here.
Glad to see you all. And
Thanks for
and thank you.
calling.
Thanks, Beverly.
Okay, cut her.
Okay, so
And then Lisa's with us.
oh, she is, but we only have like 3 minutes. Okay, so I get.
Well, right now, and then you finish.
Here we go. I'll give it to her. She
12:51
called.
on my clock.
Okay, go ahead, Lisa. Are you here?
I am here. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, we're so happy to have you. Let me tell you this, Lisa. This is Liza Baker.
No idea.
For those of you that are on Facebook, can you see the book, Flip Your Kitchen? I started reading it the other day. My gosh, what a great work you put together for people, Lisa. Can you talk to us about it?
Thank you. Sure. Yeah. Well, I'll basically start with saying that I read a book by Sophie Egan, and she said that March 2015 was sort of a watershed moment in the eating lives of Americans, because in March of 2015, that's when Americans spent more money on prepared food, restaurant food, takeout than groceries that they cooked at home. And I think that was pretty shocking. We don't cook at home as much as we used to. And that was really the starting point for my book, because I came from a culinary background. And I also went to the Institute for Integrative Nutrition, and I really know about the value of whole foods. So that was the starting point for the book. And the goal is really to get people back in the kitchen cooking from scratch, 21 meals a week. And what else would you like to know about it?
Well, I mean, it's just really great the way you have it put together. It's fantastic. And I do have another question, because when I was on your website the other day, I saw that in 2018, you were moving toward soul food, SOUL, soul food. Can you explain to our audience what that means?
Sure. The Flip Your Kitchen book was really sort of my farewell to the hands-on culinary world of nutrition. I still deal with what people should be eating based on what works best for them, but I'm not really doing hands-on cooking classes and things like that. So the book focuses on what I call soul foods, SOLE, and that stands for seasonal, organic, local, and ethical. So, according to integrative nutrition, I don't dictate what people should be eating, but I encourage them to eat soul food, just because that kind of food is sort of a higher vibrational energy for our bodies. So then I started thinking about, there must be a way to work that into, more holistic nutrition. So I came up with the acronym SOUL, which stands for seasonal, organic, unique, and loving. And those should really apply to our primary foods, everything else that nourishes us besides what we put in our mouth.
Right.
So that was the goal of that little acronym game. So I'm talking about moving from SOLE, soul food, to SOUL, soul food, especially for busy working wives and mothers.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, speaking of the busy wives and mothers, the modern woman, what is one thing that women can do to declutter their daytimers?
What is the one thing they can do? Well, let's see. I think the most important thing they could do really is to declutter. It's not to add things. We're so used to adding things, smoothies and detoxes and juices and cleanses and workouts and all kinds of woo practices. And we just keep adding. And somehow it doesn't help. So I don't have anything against those things on their own. I just think we tend to turn to the outside and look to all these other experts as to, what should I be doing to feel great and manage my schedule and manage everything that's in my life. And really what we should be doing is reducing and simplifying our daytimers. So I would say the biggest thing is to learn how to say no, and to say no gracefully, because we just say yes sort of as a knee-jerk reaction to things. Will you volunteer? Sure. And then you go home and you think, really? Why did I say yes?
So true.
Yeah, so we have to say no, and we have to start saying yes to the only the things that we want to do. Is that correct?
That's right. So every time you say no to something external, you're also saying yes to something for yourself, maybe creating a little space for when you can do something for yourself, a little me time, which is so lacking.
Oh, that is awesome. Now, I know that we got you on late here, so I'm sorry, but we're running out of time. But I want people to be able to find you.
About who was calling whom.
Yeah, we want people to be able to find you because your book is amazing, your work is amazing, or you want them to get to know you better. Where can people find you?
Sure. Well, my website is simplyhealthcoaching.com, and it's important that you put a hyphen between simply and health. So it's simply-healthcoaching.com. And if you're interested in the book, it's under the shop tab on my website. And if you're interested in decluttering your daytime or getting in touch with me, go to the connect tab. And that's the best way to get there.
And again,
thanks, Liza.
Here's the book, Flip Your Kitchen. I think it's a really good read to start. Yeah, to start the new year.
I'd love to hear your input on it. If you want to shoot me an email or something, that'd be great.
Oh, yeah. I was telling Michelle that I think it's awesome. I was looking at this book and I was like, oh, my God, I love it.
Yeah, I'm going to make your scalp. I'm psyched.
Okay, so thanks, Liza, so much.
Thanks,
okay,
guys.
so we have to announce our winners. Last week? Yeah, was it last week? We had our giveaway show. So our winners are, you guys ready? For the 4 Sigmatic mushroom coffees, they're going to get, I think, $50 worth of coffee. Is that correct?
Yeah.
They're going to get a nice big prize. That goes to Christina Marie.
Woohoo!
Yes, for Zoller, we have our Zoller D3, a whole prenatal thing. We have a whole bunch of stuff. It's going to go to Christopher Harner. Squatty Potty goes to Chelsea Hollis.
Hey.
And then our Atron Teal winners are Linda Stork Finnegan, Diane Ensminger, Lisa Crouch, Gio Vanetti. I think that was right. Jill Barrett, Nicole Dorosinski, Juana De La Serna, and of course, Michelle McCoy, one of my favorite people in the whole world. She's going to get the Giovanni Cosmetics. So, this was a fun show, and I'm going to go nap in about 5 minutes, in about 1 minute, actually. If you missed any part of this show or you just want to watch it again because you love it so much or you want to share it with your friends, go to healthyviewradio.com. And on that page, you can watch us blowing our noses and recording this show live each week, and you can comment live. Also, you can go to iTunes and leave us a review, a 5-star review, please. That's not asking much. It's only 5 little stars. It's not the entire universe. So thank you, everybody, for joining us today, and have a healthy and happy new year.
Take care.
All clear.
All right. Let me say goodbye to Facebook, everybody.
Bye, Facebook. I'm going to bed now.